to Goldilock Bears podcast with Vincent Cloud.
John Nemitz.
And David Lauer.
And this is the show where we talk about loves and hates and things we're indifferent about. But before we do any of that, we like to start the show off talking about old topics. We drudge them back up. And here we go. I'll go, actually. I have a deja vu. We were talking about gifts, and I think, John, you were like, I'm indifferent to them, right?
Yeah, I am.
And I think I was like, oh, I don't even give gifts and stuff. I barely think about it, and I don't even expect them. However, I just realized this. Some animals give gifts. Dogs will like kill something and they bring it to the family like a gift. And here we are, we don't even want to give stuff. It just makes us look bad. That even animals are like, you gotta give your. I can't do a dog accent apparently.
Yeah, frankly, that was problematic for you to even try.
Bitches.
I've heard, at least for cats, that that's like their way of trying to teach their young to like hunt. And they're actually just telling us that we're ineffectual hunters. And they're like, well, maybe I can teach this human how to hunt the way that I know how to.
That's so
Rather
weird.
than like just giving a gift of a dead, whatever, dead bird.
But does that cat not see us eat constantly in front of the TV and shit like that?
Yeah, I mean, my cat's always begging me for food, and then it wants to be like, oh, I brought you something. Like, maybe you could learn to do that. I'm like, do you really want some food with fur all over it? Like, that's not very smart.
But yeah,
I
I don't
just
know.
had my cat last night. It decided to bring me a present, and it was a baby rabbit, and it was still alive.
Oh no.
And my cat is super proud of it. And I'm like, you are the biggest asshole ever. I'm like, you killed a baby rabbit. Like, what the hell? And I don't know. I freaking hated it because I'm like, I just need to put this baby rabbit out of its misery. But so I grabbed like a giant cinder block and I got the cat away and I was gonna crush it. And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's not like dead enough where I need to put it out of its misery. Like it's still like crawling around and like it was so young it wasn't hopping yet. But I was like, I don't know that it's really gonna die on its own. So I didn't want to like put it out of its misery. So I just locked the cats up in the garage and I put it over by the fence, some tall grass, and I don't know. It's probably just gonna die on its own, but it
Wow.
sucks.
What a harrowing tale.
Yeah, I did nothing to save this thing. I mean, like, do I put it in a shoebox and try and nurse it back to health with like a little baby bottle?
Yes,
Ah,
obviously.
shit. Okay, I'll do it with the next one. My cat brings like dead rabbits enough often, enough where I'd probably have like a collection of rabbits.
A guy I used to work with had a very similar story. He also didn't have the heart to smash it with the brick or whatever. So his solution was to start up his car, put the rabbit in like a trash bag,
My
and
God.
then like put it up to the exhaust and like, basically smoke it to death or, kill it with carbon monoxide poisoning or whatever comes out of an exhaust pipe.
Put it in the gas chamber. That's very
Yeah,
humane.
pretty much.
Wow. The
I
the
feel like smashing it would just be, I don't know, quicker and faster.
That's what I was thinking. It's more instantaneous with the brick, but far more messier. Oh, God. All right. Well,
Oh
let's get
man.
let's get out of this deja vu.
Yeah. Oh god.
Thanks, Vince.
Let's start the show here. I start. Um, let's get my hate out of the way, and I hate scars. That whole like, oh, they tell a story. I'm like, my mouth tells the story. I don't like. I I believe I am vain because I hate scars. I don't want anything permanent on me like that. That's super annoying. I have a fucking scar on my left knee from when I was running in the rain and I tripped and it was like a gravel road mud puddle or something like that. And it's rather big and it just annoys me. Like even though most people would never see it, I see it. Um, and I hate it. It's so stupid. And then I have uh two on my forehead from when I was
Oh, they're hideous.
stupid and I got in a fight and he had rings on. Holy shit. Um so with that though, stretch marks. Like I hate that shit as well. I think I
I
consider them scars. I don't know about you guys. What do you think?
mean, different source, but I guess similar outcome.
Yeah, because like I can't gain weight in my arms or my legs. It's all my gut, basically. So it looks like I had a kid, you know. It's fucking annoying. Um, and also I've had my bouts with acne and it could leave your face textured, which is fucking bullshit. I hate that shit so much. And I think the only cool scar you can ever get is across the eyebrow. It always looks cool. Like Jason Momoa, um, James Marsters from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's cool. I wouldn't mind those. Although, if I don't want it though, like I said, I don't like scars. I don't like permanent shit on me. What do you guys think about scars?
Consider this, Vince, the movie Jaws. We have that awesome scene where they're comparing their scars on the
I got that
boat.
beat. I got that
We
beat.
we wouldn't have that. There were no scars.
All right. Okay.
What would Mufasa's brother be named?
First of all, what came first, the name or the scar?
You yeah, that's a good question. Like, was he born a Scar and like parents are just like, I have a feeling.
Oh man. Okay. Anything outside of movies?
No. I'm pretty indifferent to them, although I don't really have any disfiguring scars or anything like on my face. I do have a couple from like farmyard accident kind of stuff. And I get like, what are they called? Like keloids or whatever, where like the skin kind of like raises up a bit. Um, so it's not just like a mark, but it's like a texture bump that you can feel kind of.
Whoa.
Or if it's like a line, it's like a raised line.
Holy shit.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't mind them.
Wait. Where are these scars?
Like on my back, on my legs, those kind of places.
Hmm. Okay. Do they look impressive? Like if anyone was like, "Oh my God, look at your scars. Tell us the story and shit."
I mean, I have a appendectomy scar, which looks pretty awesome, I gotta say.
Yeah. All right. Dave, anything about scars?
I mean, I always like the Papa Roach song. The Scars. Scars remind me that the past is real. Classic song. Uh, I don't have any like scars on my face, and I feel like that would like be like different because I have scars on like I have one on my wrist, and I'm not sure.
Did you try to
It's
cross
like
the street or walk down the
it's like right
road?
here, but
Hmm.
like it looks like I was like a cutter, but it was just like an accident at work, and I got sliced open by a piece of steel.
Ooh.
And it's like,
Jeez.
so I always felt self-conscious, like people are gonna think I'm like a cutter, but I'm not. And I'm like, and there's almost like a street cred thing, like I'm not even that cool. I can't even like cut my wrist,
Street
It was an
cred.
accident.
You're not
Like
even cool enough to cut yourself.
I know, like, because otherwise, you might be hanging out somewhere and someone would see your wrist and be like, "Yo, me too," and I'd be like, "That was an accident. I didn't mean to. I wasn't really going through a hard time." Uh, but I mean, I had when I was a teenager, I had a bunch of scars on my back from like stretch marks from like I don't know, like age 13 to age 18, like growing so tall. I had stretch marks like all across my back. Like horizontal, like not vertical.
Mhm.
From growing taller. And I was like and I remember like taking my shirt off like in the locker room and people like pointing at my scars on my back. And it was weird. And like it was weird to me because I literally had no idea that they were there. And I went home and I was like, "Mom, do I have scars on my back?" And my mom's like, "Oh yeah, you do. They're all over." And I'm like, "Oh shit." I just had no idea, but I don't know. It was, but like they're gone now, so I don't know.
Wow.
What about that Red Hot Chili Peppers song?
We wouldn't have
Yeah,
that song, Scar Tissue, right?
Right.
yeah, overplayed, overdone. Yeah, I
Oh,
like. Have you seen like the people you're talking about, like the eyebrow scar? Like people do that on purpose. They just get like their
what?
beard trimmer and then they go zzz, and they just have, and it's like a stylish thing.
Oh my God.
There's
Wow.
dudes who do that. I've seen them.
Bunch of phonies in this world.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough Scar talk. On to someone who cares. I mean, no. What do we do? It's a segue
Segway
challenge.
challenge. I feel permanently scarred by this topic. I need to move on.
Yeah, I say we stitch it closed and move on.
All
Um,
right, I can go. I'm going to do maybe my most first world problem ever and talk about my hate for Magsafe adapters. And these are if you have a laptop where the power plug-in does not like go into a slot or into a hole or something, but there's like a magnet on it that keeps it in place. I will say in my whatever 6 or 8 years of having computers that have those for work or whatever, it has saved me 0 times from an accident where like you accidentally like trip on the cord and then you knock the laptop off the table or something. Like that's what they're meant to prevent. However, like 5 times a day, it just like falls out randomly because like I accidentally bump the cord or I like move my laptop slightly and it gets unplugged and I have to like bend over and pick up the cord off the floor. Now, I was complaining about this to a coworker and he said, "Well, you clearly don't have kids or pets," which is true,
yeah.
but still, like these things have been nothing but annoyance for me. And I guess they maybe have their purpose, but not in my life.
I have no idea what. I think I tried to look it up, but they were just so bland looking. I kind of I turned away. What about you, Dave?
Um, I have one on my laptop. I have a like a MacBook Air, and like the plug-in is like a little magnetic thing that when you it gives me like a green light when it's charging. Problem is like with any like Apple products, I'm assuming it happens with other products. After you've had a laptop for like 3 or 4 years, the battery really sucks on it. So I will, if I just have it like and I'm plugged in on the couch, if I accidentally unplug it, my battery on my laptop will kind of crash and die within like 20 minutes. And if I don't realize that it's unplugged, and like you never realize it's unplugged, you're like, oh, I thought it was, but the cord is super stiff, so it will come unplugged like almost immediately, like no matter what. And it's just a super pain in the ass, especially because like the laptop is so thin and then that plug-in is along the side and it's super thin, So if you just rock the laptop just a little bit on your couch and touch the cushion, it'll knock it right out and you won't be charging anymore. And if you're trying to do like a Zoom call or something important where you don't want your computer to randomly shut off, if you like, if I'm below like 20% on the battery and I disconnect it, it just shuts the computer down and it infuriates me and I hate it. And also there's also like other MagSafe things with like iPhones on the back of like an iPhone. You have like this pop socket. They have like magnetic ones that it's like a MagSafe thing that will pop into the back of your iPhone and you can use it for like charging. You can put it on like a magnetic charger to charge your phone, but also your pop sockets will be magnetic. And then there's accessories where you put it in your car and you pop it on there, and that way you can use it for like navigation and charge while you're driving. Um, the problem is not all the covers. I bought this OtterBox case because I was like, oh, OtterBox are really good. You know, they're super sturdy and will help me because I know I'm going to drop my phone a bunch. But the magnetic, it's too thick, and the magnet is so weak that it won't work through the case. And I'm like, well, I spent $40 on the case. I'm not just going to buy a new case. So I'm just going to suffer not being able to use the magnetic feature on the phone now until I pony up money for a new case that's actually compatible with MagSafe.
Uh,
Jeez.
John, do you have one on you? Can you show us?
Yeah.
And I will try my best to describe it to the listeners.
So it is basically this little like millimeter thick part. That's all that goes into the laptop. And it's really like the magnetic force that's holding it in place.
Okay.
So if you like walk by your laptop and you're like pull on it like this, the whole thing's like falling out on the floor and you have to like replug it in again.
Oh, okay. So were these supposed to make something better and easier, but it just failed? Is that what's going on with this?
It's like if you have kids or dogs running around and they like trip on the cord, instead of like pulling your laptop on the floor, just it gets unplugged,
Okay.
basically. I think is the main use case.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess I just don't use those. Yeah, so I don't know. Should I? Would it I mean, I don't have any kids or animals.
How many times have you tripped on your cord and threw your laptop on the ground?
It's happened actually. Yeah, that sucks
Oh,
too.
then maybe you should get them.
Oh my gosh. All right. All right. Yeah. One more customer added to the pile. Anything else about MagSafe?
I mean, all they need to do is just make the magnet a little bit stronger. Like if I pull it or kick it, and yeah, it should disconnect if I kick it, but if it just gets touched barely, it shouldn't disconnect the way it does. It's just so weak.
Can
Yeah,
we make a magnet stronger? I don't know how magnets work.
nobody
Yeah.
does.
I mean, it's a certain type of magnetic, like a ferrous metal, and then it's just the quantity that's there. So if you have to have like opposites attract. You have to have a north and a south, like a positive and negative. And if you have, if they're bigger and larger, if you have more of that metal there, it will be stronger and hold together stronger. But they're just trying to skimp on the whatever metal is used. They're just kind of skimping on that because they don't want to spend as much money, and it's just giving us an inferior product.
No, deflation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like shrinkflation for electronics.
Shrinkflation. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Segway challenge. I'm gonna walk now, and I hope my shoe doesn't get caught in the lines, the cords. To whoever.
You want me to go?
Anyone who hasn't gone yet,
Yeah,
go
anyone.
ahead.
All right. I'll go with my first world problem. I hate potlucks. Um, so like at work, a lot of times, and like even for like holidays or like family get-togethers. And a potluck is where everybody has to bring a dish and everybody brings some food. And it like I hate it. I hate other people's home cooking a lot of the times. Like sometimes there's some people who are like phenomenal bakers and they'll make like a weird like blueberry muffin cake with icing on it, and you're like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And then you taste it and you're like, oh, this is incredible, I love it. And you're like, who made this? And like, out of the 20 people who work in my department, yeah, there's like one good cook out of the 20. The rest of the people, it's just terrible food. A lot of times, like, people, they skimp at potlucks. They don't want to like actually make any homemade cooking. So they'll just go to Walmart and they'll get like a potato salad for $4, and they'll bring that and be like, I contributed. No, like, it's terrible. And then I went to this thing probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was like this giant they had a giant smoker with like pork, and they were smoking pork, and they're gonna have a big barbecue. And there was like a potluck thing and everybody brought like their side dishes, but they were providing the smoked pork. And Brooke and I are there, my wife, and we're getting in line, and we're like, oh, we want to get in line because we don't want like to run out of food or stand in line forever. We get there first, and the guy who smoked all the meat, he had like giant tin containers that all the shredded pork is sitting in. And they decided they were going to add barbecue sauce to it already and mix it together for the barbecue sandwiches. He pours a bunch of barbecue sauce onto the pork, and then he takes his bare hands, sticks it right into the meat, and starts mixing the meat around in the sauce with his bare hands. And I'm just like, what is happening? I'm like, you don't stick your bare hands into cooked food. Like, with food preparation, like, you can do it before you cook it, because then I can at least rationalize, well, we're going to cook it up to temperature and it'll kill the germs. But you don't put your hands in food that's already cooked. And so I go through the line, and I was just like, Brooke, did you see that? And I was like, he put his hands right in it. That dude right there. I'm like, I ain't touching it. I'm like, I'm not eating that shit. And I got everybody's weird side dishes, and all the side dishes sucked. And I was just like, this is it. I'm like, I freaking hate potlucks. This is ruined. And it's like something that I saw this guy stick his hands in that food, and I didn't eat it. But then it makes me think about all the potlucks I've gone to or had at work where you eat somebody else's food and you don't know like their standards of cleanliness when they're cooking. And like, and I'm far from like a germaphobe. I'm really not a germaphobe, but there's like blatant rules that you don't like fuck up, and you don't stick your hands in the food like
My God.
that.
I've barely had any potlucks, but I think they're fun generally, you know. I think it's harder for me to come up with what to bring because do we remind me, do we typically can we communicate like before the potluck like, hey, I'm gonna make deviled eggs, and someone's like, no, that's Jerry's thing. He always
Yeah,
does, you
usually
know.
they'll have
It
like a
depends on the one.
list. Yeah, like at my work, we'll have a list, and it'll be like, so and so's providing this. Somebody's bringing dessert. Somebody's bringing chips. Somebody's bringing the soda. So
Oh
like,
God, I
there's
hope
always
I'm
like,
chips.
yeah, like there's always like the easy ones. Like you pick soda or chips or something. That's pretty easy. But then there's if you want to do coleslaw or something a little more dangerous, potato salad. Hopefully it's homemade, but I doubt it.
I like to put my whole hands in the bags of chips.
And crunch them up, my
Yeah.
fingers.
I was thinking of Scary Movie with the guy with the mashed potatoes and the little hand. Let me stir those mashed potatoes for you. Let me use my strong hand.
My
At
germs.
my at my office, we have a bunch of people who moved to Minnesota from out of state. So we were talking about having just like a Minnesota food potluck to let them all enjoy all the like weird Midwestern stuff. So like tater tot hot
Casserole.
dish and
Yeah.
um Snicker salad and all that all that weird Midwest salads that are just like Cool Whip and like whatever. Which I don't know if we're going to do that or not. I know we were talking about it, but I think that would be kind of fun. Um, as a vegan, potlucks often suck because the only thing that I would want to eat because it doesn't have animal products is the thing that I bring. So that really puts a damper on the fun for me. And then I'm just like watching everyone take my food, which is the only thing I can eat, and being like, oh, save a little bit of that.
One thing that does kind of suck, like some women are very catty, and they'll kind of like make a face, or they're like, "Oh, it's too bad you made this because that's her specialty or whatever." And it's all very like backhanded talk about the food, not usually to me, but like to each other. So you got to witness that, and that's always just unfortunate. Like I hate that catty shit. Um, yeah, I remember I brought like crab, uh, not crab ragoon, but some sort of crab thing. But anyways, I brought this to this cookout thing, bring a dish, and everyone just gave me crap up about it, or like they're just like, who brings that to a barbecue? And I'm like, exactly. Like I'm trying to change it up a little bit, but that's never appreciated at potlucks and stuff. Like you have to hit those like, oh, a Jello thing or a potato salad. You can't be too creative in those potlucks.
Just ahead of your time, Vince. That's all.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
soon, everyone will be bringing weird crab things to barbecues.
Uh,
I was at one. We were having like a Taco Tuesday. Like everyone brings something for tacos, and they were just all the most bland white people tacos ever. Like nothing had any like seasoning or spice. Like when I think of tacos, like I want something spicy, and I'm like, where's like the hot sauce and the salsa? Nobody had any, and I had to go to my coworker Rosa. She's got her own stash of hot sauces, and I got some of hers. Oh my, I can't believe our entire break room is filled with all this different taco burrito type stuff. We don't have any seasoning. It was crazy.
Black olives.
Hey, what's better with that?
I'm just
Good,
trying to
a good
think
black
what,
olive.
yeah, I'm just trying to think what goes in like white people tacos.
Oh,
Some guacamole, but like the guacamole, it was good, but it was also like super weird because there was so many flavors in it. I'm like, okay, there's avocado, there's onion. I think there's like some kind of pepper in there. There's like cucumber and celery, maybe.
Oh,
Like there was so many weird crunchy vegetables in it that I don't know. It was some weird homemade thing with like their own seasoning to it. I don't know. It
sounded
was
great until you
funky.
said cucumber and celery.
what? You don't like celery either?
I do like celery, but not in guacamole.
You
I
don't, you
like the
don't.
cucumber. The cucumber gave it a nice taste,
Shut up.
but it was overpowered by the I think by the onion. I don't know.
John, if you go to a spa and they're like, we want to put these cucumbers on your eyes.
I'm like, no, go get me zucchinis.
Oh man.
Just get
When
some pineapple rings and then you can still see.
John, when you die and for some reason they're like, he was Greek, we're gonna put coins on sides. Like, nope, cucumbers, slices. All right. Yeah, wow. Anyways, potlucks. Pretty crazy, huh? Segue challenge. Let's see
Uh,
what I'm bringing for the second my second dish. It's
yeah, let's see if
crab
you can serve up
something.
something
Better not
better.
be crab.
All right, let's see here. Uh you know what? I'm indifferent to getting my picture taken. I think I said taking pictures. What I meant was getting my picture taken. Um so I think it's just kind of weird that you're in a situation and someone brings up the camera and they're like, smile. And it's like, okay, but I wasn't smiling before, you know? And it's not like we were all so engaged with each other that we would like as if we are that close or something.
Don't
Those
tell me to smile. Do something that makes me smile.
Say cheese.
yeah, oh my gosh, for some reason that just always works, right? The cheese. I don't know. I think s- you know, I think part of it is acting, like if you have to take a bunch of pictures and you're not necessarily in the mood, you have to like put on a smiley face, even though, and I feel like sometimes it's detectable that you're not totally into it. Like a fake smile for me, I don't know if I could replicate it, where it's like kind of the teeth are lined up together when my teeth don't do that. My front teeth are a little bit ahead of my lower teeth. So my smile is different from the fake one, you know? Um, uh, Senior photos, right? I didn't want to do it. My mom was like, no, it's your senior year. Take a picture or whatever. And I'm like, I really don't care. Like, fuck high school. I didn't care if I, but she was like, no, you gotta get a picture. So I'm like, okay, fine. So we went to some place and the guy's like, yeah, we do senior photos. No, he doesn't. Those look like regular old high school photos, So in our senior photo, there's like in throughout the halls, there's like class of 2003. I'm the only guy that looks regular. Like I'm not doing the classic, like, there's senior photos look a certain
Throwing the
way.
football,
Yeah,
singing opera. I don't know what these things are.
there's a certain cinematography, there's a language in senior photos. This was not there in mine. So it looks like I shouldn't have taken the picture at all. It looks kind of weird because I'm the only guy who's just kind of there. I don't know. It's just so lame. And I think I prefer candid shots where you're just kind of in the background, or you don't even notice the camera there. I prefer that because that's more realistic. I'm not just like smiling, you know, like I don't smile all the goddamn time, guys. And then finally, it's always so weird. You go to the DMV, you have to take your picture, and you just smile in front of this fucking stranger. You're not even surrounded by friends. You're in this boring ass place, and all of a sudden you have to be like, you know, it's
Well,
weird.
that's on you because you've been there long enough to make friends with all of them, and you just missed the opportunity.
Oh God. Yeah, what do you guys think about having your picture taken?
I know that I am not photogenic. Like there's certain people I've seen that when they know their picture's about to be taken, they just know exactly what to do. Like they'll like, like shift to one side, they'll like turn their head slightly, they'll like, you know what I mean? Like they'll adjust their posture and like which angle of their face is heading, and they like look phenomenal then when they take the photo. And like I just always look like this awkward person who was like, oh, this is my first day having arms. Like I don't know what to do with them.
Oh, that's great. Well, let's take a picture of Dave. Dave, smile, give us an opinion.
I I hate I hate pictures in general because yeah, I feel like I don't look good in pictures. I but one I've always hated them and I've had like the same thing like why should I smile? It's not genuine. But that's kind of like the teenager in me because I remember my mom always telling me to smile. And I'm like, act like you're a happy family. I'm like, but we're not a happy family. But like as I've gotten older and I don't know like how many years it takes. Maybe it's like I think like 15 years. When I go back and I see a picture of me that's like 15 years or older, like I absolutely love looking at pictures of myself 15 years ago because I was so like insecure about how like ugly and disgusting looking I was. And now, 15 years later, I'm like, oh, what would I do to look that young again? I was so handsome. Like, oh, look at all my hair. I'm just like, oh man, look at that hairline. Man, I could have had it all. But now it's all gone. And it's, I don't know, but I love looking at old pictures of myself. And like my mom always said that to me. She's like, when you're older, you'll appreciate all these pictures. And she was right. Like, I really do appreciate pictures of me when I was younger. But that being said, like I don't ever take pictures, and my wife never takes pictures. Like we rarely take pictures. And like we'll go on like a fun weekend where we'll go and do something fun for 3 days straight, and we won't take one picture the entire time. And then it's like, oh darn, I guess I don't know, because like some people will go on a 3 day like vacation and they'll take a million pictures, but we'll take zero.
I mean, this is a related topic that we could maybe save, just like, you know, actually taking pictures of other stuff or other people, because could go more about that sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the whole like taking a picture of your food. Come on.
Yeah. My wife absolutely hates having her picture taken. And like I have like actually very few pictures of her. And like her mom also like somehow like never really had her picture taken either. So like you look through like I guess like her trick was being the one behind the camera or whatever, but like I look at my wife's family photos and stuff and her mom's never in them because it's like she's always like refusing to be in the picture.
Wow. Yeah, that whole like you'll appreciate this later sort of thing. I guess so. But yeah, I don't take a lot of pictures either. I think most of the pictures now are on Facebook, but that's like tagged stuff. Um, and again, yeah, just having to smile. Is there something else we can do outside of smiling? Aren't there like um people that strike like okay, the girls, they always do the hand on the hip or whatever, so your body looks more curvaceous, like an S thing. I When did that start happening? I feel like girls didn't always do it, and then all of a sudden they did. Or is that a future topic?
I don't know.
I mean, it's got to be like a social media thing with like Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat. Like everybody knows, like they hold their camera at a certain angle. I don't know if you want it to be below or above or something, because you got to get that right angle where you look best for your face. It's
Yeah.
lots of different tricks that people have learned, like to make themselves look better in pictures. And I've tried some of them. They don't work on me. But if they work for you, good for you.
I always thought that that was such an odd thing where it was like the filters. Girls would put the filters on, and it's like, man, you already got one layer of makeup and then a second layer of like this digital makeup. It's like, what's the real you? Can we see that? Like, I don't know, it's so odd. But that being said, I wouldn't mind getting to put a filter on or makeup because my fit, like, I have days where I'm like so grotesque. And that's why I was like, hey guys, can we not do video on here? Can we just be audio? And you're like, no, we gotta see each other. I'm like, God damn it. All right, fine.
Who
Yeah.
said that?
I think you said it. You were like, no,
No,
it's better if for the visual cues or something like that. I think you said that.
I was clearly being sarcastic.
So we could have been avoiding all this. No, but like for example, I have the a cover on this mic that I use because without it, there's this red light that makes my face look redder than it already is. And like I hate watching old videos. I'm like, oh my God, I look like I have high blood pressure.
I thought you were gonna say this is cover on this mic. I wish I could put it over my face.
Oh, let's just oh yeah, real quick. I enjoyed when we had to wear masks. That was good. Let's go back to that. I'd wear a mask on this podcast if I could. All right. Segway challenge.
Take a picture, it'll last longer. Does that make any sense? No.
Go ahead, John. John.
All right. I love the fall or autumn, if you will. Um, it's like the best 2 or 3 months of weather we get up here in the Midwest. Um, you can still go outside without 5 winter layers, um, but you're not sweating. You can be active and you're not like overheating. Like I love biking in the fall. Um, the the leaves are freaking beautiful. They're starting to change now, and there's something about like that cool, crisp air that makes me nostalgic. And I don't know what it is. I guess like what I always think of is, um, I guess it was fall when my wife and I first like both moved to um, live in the same city for the first time. So like the first time we were ever spending a lot of time with each other was in the fall. So when I get out there and smell that crisp air, it just kind of reminds me of that for some reason. But yeah, best season. Uh, Sometimes it's too rainy, but other than that, perfect.
Do you think trees like it when we change colors?
Oh, the humans, it's spring, the humans are getting darker.
They're like, you idiot. They don't have seasons. Yeah, no, I love the fall. Fucking, oh, it was a cool, crisp 45 degrees last night. So I got to sleep with the windows open, still had a fan on me. And it was so terrific. I fucking love sleeping in that chill air. Like I said so many times before, my body is always like overheating and stuff like that. I need coolant. And I foolishly think beers are gonna help. Um, so hoodies. Gotta love hoodies. It's straight up hoodie weather, and it's probably one of my favorite clothing items to
What did
put
I
on
just hear
myself.
someone say right now it's like shorts and hoodie weather, which is like the best weather there is.
Yes, yeah, I was rocking that today. It was so fun.
Yeah. You wear
I did this morning
flip-flops and a
actually.
hoodie.
And socks underneath the flip-flops.
Oh yeah, I don't want to get my feet dirty.
Or no, you're a croc man, aren't you, Dave?
Oh no, hell no.
When you're smashing wine, you are. All right, anyways. What do you guys say about the fall, Dave?
I love, yeah, John's totally right. Fall is easily the best of all the seasons. Yeah, the weather's great. I love like finally being having like some cool air at night. I love wearing sweatpants and like just pajama bottoms because pajama bottoms are just like super baggy like cloth pants that I can wear. And I don't know, they're super comfy. I love it's like once it gets into fall, that's when I can start to wear that stuff again because otherwise it's just sitting in my closet and I don't ever touch my sweatpants or my hoodies and all that. It's just sitting there waiting. But fall is great. It's got good holidays too. We got Halloween and Thanksgiving, two of the best holidays. Um, Everybody loves trick or treating, free candy, people dressing up, but just like even like the decorations of Halloween, like pumpkins, jack o' lanterns, that stuff's all really cool stuff. Like Thanksgiving is a great holiday because there's food and there's football and it's on a Thursday. So like even if your Thanksgiving sucks, you still get a 3-day weekend after it. Um, and I love fall because of like football is back and on TV. So there's like college football on Saturday and pro football on Sunday. So it can kind of just like, what am I going to do there? I'm going to watch football. And it's really just like I'm just going to sit on my butt and do nothing and watch football and cry when I see my fantasy football players are like being carted off the field with injuries.
Oh.
Um, It's love hate with the football, but it happens in the fall, and it's the best season.
More horror movie watching again because of Halloween, the lead up to
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's always good horror movies this time of year.
Or you rewatch the classics. Like I rewatched Fright Night and I fucking loved it. It was so good. And again with the nostalgia, John, I was gonna say fall makes me feel nostalgic for like the 80s for some reason. I feel like it was a lot
Hmm.
cooler in the 80s. I doubt it was, but for some reason I picture the 80s, I picture fall hand in hand. Also, when it comes to the fall, that feels like the beginning of the year. We referenced this before, like with the years or the New Year's, right? Where it seems like the year starts when it's fall because it's probably because of school and stuff like that, where you're like, oh, it's a whole new thing starting. So that's how I feel today. Like I feel like, oh, this is season 40 for Vince, you know. Some of the writers they went on strike, but we'll see what we can do.
It's like season 40 of the challenge, you know?
Oh my
End of the
gosh.
Eras tour.
Oh God, all that production bullshit that's going on. All the rigged eliminations. Oh my gosh. And apparently there's a lot of people throwing challenges now, like more than there's ever been. Okay, whatever. Yeah.
I but I don't know that I've seen like the latest episode, but I swear I saw Derek like fall and like break his ankle, hop around on his foot, and then they just never referenced it again, and Derek's just hanging out there, and he never went home or to the hospital or anything. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. Maybe in the next episode he's gonna get sent home, but I was very confused.
Sorry, John. A little left out.
And the autumn UFC battles, like,
Oh man. No, yeah, I want to add more to this, but I think we've covered it. One of my favorite episodes of Joe Pera Talks with You is the fall drive. Joe Pera takes you on a fall drive. That episode is fantastic, and that's what I love too. I did that today. I drove to where my new job's going to be, and it was like a 45-minute drive through the country, and that was very nice. Beautiful, beautiful trees. A lot of Trump signs here. Suppose that should be hand in hand country.
Wait, so
And
you're working somewhere where you got to drive 45 minutes one way or round trip?
one way
Ooh,
or another.
do you mind that?
I don't.
Okay.
I really don't because like I say, I enjoy just driving around. And it was basically the same amount of time before, but I would stop at like Quick Trip or Walmart and buy a little something, or I would just drive around until I had to go into work. So it's the same thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Segway challenge?
Well, what's this? The leaves are falling. The air is cooling. Must be time for a new topic.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to go who hasn't done their
Any
second topic
any
yet.
takers?
I can go. Um, I'll go with my love. I've prepared nothing for this, so I'm just gonna wing it. But that's what I do with everything.
About being a
Uh,
prepper, you did not
Yeah, this is.
prepare.
yeah, I know.
Oh
I
no.
my thing is I love the idea of being a prepper, but it's not in me as a person. Like I don't prepare for anything, but I look at other people who are like preppers and prepare, and I'm like, man, that's a really good idea. I would love to do something like that. And I'm super fascinated by it. I think it's really cool. Um, like there's like all the TV shows about preppers, and they're all like the, you know, people who eat chip paint off their walls, and like they're just like these weird people who probably look for Bigfoot in their backyard. Um, but there's that segment of preppers who just like has like canned goods from like 35 years ago that's probably all expired. But then there's like the really good preppers who are like half preppers and half like homesteaders who they collect their own rainwater and they have like their own greenhouse that's sustainable and like they're kind of like half or they could survive off of the grid like if power goes down. They got like solar panels. They got like their own chicken coops for eggs and stuff like that. um Plus they have like they're prepared. They have their water source, and then they got batteries, and they have like dry good. They got 20 pounds of rice and 20 pounds of flour and all this stuff stacked away. And sometimes people have bunkers where they have all this stuff that if there's a storm they can go down to the bunker, or if there's like a giant bomb or a war or something. Kind of like the movie Blast from the Past, like that. uh like the idea of being a prepper is like super fascinating to me and I love it. um I myself, I don't feel like I can, like, financially, I just don't have the income to like not only buy the toilet paper I need, but toilet paper I'm going to need in the future. Like, if if the supply chain breaks down, like, yeah, I'll be fine for a couple weeks, but then after that, like, I'll just be SOL, like most of everybody else. um yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys find it fascinating or cool?
I like the idea of living off the grid. Like I really do. Like
That was like the exact phrase I was going to use.
like 4 years ago, I was completely fed up with working for the man. And I'm like, I'm gonna become a mountain man and grow a beard. Oh wait, I can't grow a beard. But like I wanted to get away from society. I was like, fuck this. But there are I know I'm soft. I know that I've been spoiled for a long, long time now. I don't know if I'd be able to do it, but god damn it, like I've definitely have the seclusion going on. Like I've become such a hermit, especially in my 30s. Like most of my friends do not see me or family. Like this is the most interaction I have is this podcast, and you guys aren't even real. Did you know that?
We're not even good people.
But okay, so I really was hoping that you were like, oh, I have a fortified basement now and stuff. I wanted
Like
to,
you're really getting into it.
yeah. But now that you're just like, no, I've seen a movie once. But I was going to ask you, do you know about MREs?
Yeah,
Meals ready to eat.
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
that should
it's
be a
like,
future topic. I don't know.
yeah, that's what, like, army guys, I remember Luke had those. It's just you just add boiling water to it, and all of a sudden you got mac and cheese or like spaghetti dinner, or I don't know, they all look kind of gross. But like as like a preparedness thing, like in case of an emergency, I mean, I guess it would be fine.
Oh wow. So you've never eaten them? I have. They're pretty good.
I've never had one. No, I don't know. It just looks gross.
Yeah, but that's because you're in war. You don't care what it looks like.
I've
Anyways.
had like like the freeze-dried meals that they sell at like REI and stuff that you take camping with you because they're like super light and they're kind of the same concept. Like, and yeah, they taste pretty good in the woods, I guess is what I'll say.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
yeah.
I love the idea of like growing a lot of your own food and stuff like that. We've talked about gardening and like we have like a small vegetable garden, like nowhere close to like being sustaining or anything, but it is fun to just grow your own food. Um, One thing I don't like about prepper culture is the people who like seem to want it to happen, that like
Yes.
something bad happens and like, yeah, I'll show you, like I'm prepared for this, none of you are prepared for it, and like nobody's taking my stuff, and like it's like assuming the worst of humanity, and just, yeah, like imagining that everyone was going to just be every man for themselves and yeah, and yeah, like in that sick way, just wanting it to happen because like you've dedicated so much energy into preparing for it really weirds me out.
Yeah, I think it's cool to have like a little bunker full of goods and stuff. I think that's probably smart, but like when you go overload on everything, and I don't know, I associate preppers with guns, and I'm not a gun nut, that whole like eagerness, like, wee if they step on, my property, I'm gonna kill them and shit like that. I don't like that attitude of like you want it to happen. And there was this reality show where like the father clearly decided that the end days were near, so he's had all his family prepare and have all these things figured out, but that's all they do is just constantly run their routines or whatever of preparedness if society collapses. I don't know. I don't really care for that.
Yeah, I agree. It's those are like the doomsday people who are like, oh yeah, like the World War III is gonna start, and then it's just gonna be game over for everyone. And it doesn't make any sense like logically. Like I've thought about this. Like if like society like shuts down and it's permanent and there was like a nuclear war or something, like you having a year supply of canned goods is gonna help you live a year longer. But if you're not able to like absolutely like cook your own food, make your own food, hunt for your own food, garden your own food, like be able to get clean fresh water, if you can't like sustainably do it on your own, a bunch of canned goods is not going to do anything for you. All it's going to do is prolong your death. So you're rather than starving in a month from catastrophe, you'll starve a year in a month from catastrophe.
It's
And it's
basically
like,
cement block or exhaust, car exhaust.
yeah, exactly. Just go with the cement block. Trust me.
Oh God. Um, yeah, I would like to, I should be prepared though for something like medical stuff. Although I feel like I'm always quite healthy, but like little food things, collect that. I would really like to learn how to can stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind that. Segway challenge, perhaps?
Hear that in the distance? It's the apocalypse coming for us.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. Okay. I think. Back to me. Okay, well, let's do my last one here. And that's my love. I love horses, guys. You know, I grew up owning two horses, Gingerbread and Phoenix, and they were pretty darn sweet. I also worked maybe 2 or 3 summers at a ranch with horses. So we had to work with horses a lot and ride them and all that stuff. So that's really cool. Uh, in our house, we didn't use the bit. That's that big iron thing that goes in the mouth of the horse behind the teeth. And I just, I'm glad that my parents weren't into that because when I heard about it, I'm like, oh, that's paint. That sounds horrible. And it is. And we also didn't use spurs. I think that's just so fucking mean. Like just constantly getting like fucking stabbed. Um, which is fine. Like, but riding them is tricky because especially when it comes to your heels, because if you apply some pressure, that makes them go. And the more you press on it, the faster they'll go. However, when you're going fast, how are you supposed to stay on? Your natural instincts is to kind of hang on with your legs. But then again, your heel is so it's like the gas pedals are right where you would be, it just oh my gosh, it's freaky because they can get some speed and falling off. I fortunately never been bucked off or anything like that. Um, and the other thing is the horses are like these magnificent animals. There's these giant, powerful things, but they're also very sensitive and they spook easily. And so when to make a bond with a horse where they trust you enough, that's always a special bond. Native Americans, or at least my tribe, we call them shunkates, which basically means big dogs
Hmm.
because of their relationship to us, like they're always with us, same way dogs were always with us and stuff like that. Um, uh, One cool kind of thing is horses find goats very relaxing, like they're buddies. Like we bought a goat because our one horse was lonely, and she instantly lit up. She enjoyed that goat so much. So that's kind of a cool thing about horses. And oh, one thing though, when I was driving that 45-minute drive, I did pass the Amish with their horses, and I do not care how they treat horses. They seem to just run them into the ground. It's for me, it's very rare to see a healthy looking horse with the Amish, and I really hate that aspect. But what do you guys think about horses?
I literally had them on my indifferent list to talk about someday.
All right.
Um, I've had opportunities to ride horses and never took them. Just didn't have an interest in it. Um, like I can see that they are majestic animals, but um, I just don't. They've never sparked the interest in me that they have with a lot of people. Um, and for some reason, I just associate horses with like people on mixed use trails acting like they own the place because they're on a
Oh,
horse, even though
oh.
like these trails are like for all kinds of different people to use for all kinds of stuff. But if someone on a horse comes by, then get out of their way. Like they're the only one who deserves to be on it. I mean, obviously that's more the people than the horse's fault, but I still like just make that association.
They were up on their high horse, is what you're saying.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Dave, how many horses have you ridden in your life?
Um,
And how many hands? How many hands tall?
I would say like 4 hands, 5 hands. I don't know.
Whoa.
Oh,
Is that, or maybe 12 hands? 13, 14? I don't know.
I think
I'll have
it's
to look at the
312 hands? I don't know.
just a regular amount of hands.
just hooves, actually. No hands at all, just hooves.
I think I've ridden 2 horses.
All right.
My sister had a horse when we were kids, but like we bought like a used horse
From the used
like at
horse lot.
at Stockman's, where people would just pin up like free kittens for sale, dog for sale. Someone had a horse for sale. So we bought a horse, and like it wasn't trained at all. So we had to take it to like this guy down the street or down the road a couple miles. He trained horses. So we would take him over there, like, and then he would train him. And then he's like, okay, he's going to stay here for a week or two. But then we learned that he was training the horses by like hitting them with 2x4s and abusing them.
Oh.
And it was just like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? Like, if you have to abuse an animal, like that's not how you train something. You just don't know how to train an animal. Like this, I don't know. It was disturbing. Um, so like I rode a horse once, and it was like a touristy like trail ride where you pay a bunch of money and then everybody hops on a horse. And I was like a teenager. I was probably like 12 or something, 13. And we're just on the trail, and this is like in Wisconsin Dells somewhere. And the horse that I was on wanted to go off on this other trail, but all of the other horses, they're all going here to the left. My horse wants to go to the right. And I'm like, bro, your horse, like, what's going on? Like, this one's broken. He's going the wrong way. And they're like, just pull on the reins. And, I'm like, okay. So I'm like, pulling on the reins. And I'm, 12 or 13. I'm a skinny kid. I'm like 95 pounds probably. And the horse wouldn't listen to me. Like, it wanted to go that way. And it was just like, it was kind of scary because I didn't know, like, if the horse was just like not into it and was not happy. And I don't know, it made me feel uneasy about it. Um, so like there's that like certain negative things that I've experienced. Um, but overall, like if I'm watching a movie and there's horses in it, like generally I love that movie because like horses are super majestic. And when I watch like Lord of the Rings and I see Gandalf on Shadowfax, like it just gets me going. And I'm like, yes, I freaking love these horses. And like the Rohirrim, like this awesome like army of dudes on horses. It's so cool. Like King Theoden, rest in peace. Like that guy and like I don't know, there's certain stuff with horses in movies where I'm just like in awe of horses. I'm like, man, they're incredible. And like I do wish that like I grew up by like a nice horse stable and I could have like worked there for a summer and ridden horses because I hear from people who have done that stuff and they're just like it's incredible. There's like such amazing animals and I've like never had that experience, but I really kind of wish that I had.
Yeah,
When I
the
watched the movie Ferdinand the Bull, have you seen that?
no.
Oh, there's like these German dancing horses, and one of them is voiced by like Flula Borg, I think, and they're like hilarious.
Oh, a movie that is so good yet so heartbreaking, I'll never watch it again, is the movie Black Beauty. And it's basically a story told from the horse's perspective of like going from all these different owners and stuff. And he fucking has to deal with abuse and like one of the saddest fucking moments, like he has sort of a girlfriend horse, they kind of grow up in the stable together, but then she's sold to someone. And like fucking years later, he's like walking through this town. He's, pulling someone and he sees his girlfriend horse and she's just completely like dispirited, just whipped and like skinny. And like, it's just so fucking sad. And of course, he can't just stop and say hi. He has, they have owners and shit. Then forward in the movie, he's pulling someone and there's a big wagon pulling her dead corpse. It's so fucked up. Oh my god, that movie will make you fucking cry. And and again, I fucking hate that aspect of the Amish where it seems like they don't respect those horses. They just treat them like a tool. A common Amish tool. Yeah, hate that shit. Oh, real quick. So again, they get easily spooked. One of the rules, I'm sure David, you were told this: don't sneak up on a horse because their fucking kicking power can fucking fuck you up and possibly even kill you. Like one day, my horse, one of the horses got free, and I think the dogs were being naughty, and yeah, we woke up and the horse was wandering there, and one of the dogs was dead, got kicked.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was fucked up. It was my dog too. I'm way too like it was so hard, like go up to the horse, like you've killed hi, like it's I didn't know how to feel, you know. Oh, it's fucked up.
Oh, you're like was it John Benet Ramsey's mom, like when she finds like that her son killed her daughter
Oh my
and she's
God.
like trying to rationalize it. She's like, don't worry, I'm not gonna tell anyone you did it.
Allegedly?
That's my theory on the case. I've read all the theories of the possible killers, and the mom knew what was up. She wrote that note.
Oh my gosh. That's so crazy. Uh oh, a callback to the old episode where the Crow family, my mom was adopted by them. they spell the CROWE instead of CROW because a horse thief in the family. He became quite infamous for stealing horses. That's crazy. Um, Segway challenge.
One thing I was thinking of is there's like so many idioms and like sayings involving horses. Like hold your horses, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, um, get off your high horse, like you said earlier. Like all this stuff, like
Horseplay, horsing around.
yeah,
Horseplay.
put the cart before the horse. Like, we were such like a horse-based society for like hundreds of years, and if not thousands, I don't know. But like it's just insane like how important horses were, and now they're just like not a luxury, but like on a niche hobby for some people.
That's crazy too, because they are expensive. Oh my gosh, my sister, she got that horse because, she was daddy's little girl, and oh my God, whatever she wanted, dad would get. Even though I'm like, Dad, could I have this? Like, no, shut up. I'm like, oh God, sorry. I'll get back into my box now. But yeah, they're expensive, man. Like just a bag of oats, that's a lot of fucking money. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's crazy. And you have to move them. Like, fortunately, we lived in the forest, so we could just take them down the road or through a path where there's more grass to eat because they'll just fucking go the whole time. If you put a stake, tie it to them on a rope, they will eat the whole diameter, all the grass away and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember that from being a kid. Like we had like a fenced in like state or like a place where you would kind of ride the horse in a circle. I don't know if it's a stable or I don't know what it's called. But then we had like the grassy area, but we had to like put up a secondary fence so that way the horse would only go on one half. Because you put the horse on one half, it would eat all that grass, and that would give the other half time to grow, and then you swap, have him go to the other side, and give the other side a chance to grow. Otherwise, if you just let him free roam, he'd kind of just eat everything at once.
One of the cute little things of a horse is that they like their salt licks. You buy a big cube of salt, and they just enjoy it. Every once in a while they'll walk up and like lick it a little bit, and then go trotting off. It's great. Okay, segue challenge. Should we bury our heels into the side of the horse, indicating to him that we want to go faster? I don't know.
I don't
Wait,
know.
are you
It's a
the
horse
horse in
apiece.
this metaphor?
Yay or nay?
Are we riding saddled or bareback?
Ooh, I did that. I rode bareback. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's definitely different. It feels better. No, okay.
The horse is like, no, no, put that saddle back
Uh, the horse is
All
like, Vince, I
right.
don't think you're mature enough. Put the saddle on. Oh,
All
John.
right. I said my indifference was to ancestry.com. It's really towards like a certain style of thing that I didn't really know how to explain, but this is kind of an example of it for me. So, as I've mentioned before, I've been really into like genealogy and like family research and stuff lately. And like ancestry.com is an example of a technology that makes it really easy for you to make progress on the thing you're doing, but it also makes it really easy to get it wrong. And it doesn't make it easy to tell which is which. So what I mean by that is like, let's say you add a person to your family tree. They will immediately go out and search all their sources and give you suggestions to like, oh, we think this is them in the 1870 US Census. And then you can click on that and say, add this to this person. This is, a source for them. Um, it might say like, oh, this looks like their marriage record. Add this. Do you want to add their spouse to the tree? Um, then like other stuff, like do you want to add their parents to the tree? Like it just makes it so easy to click yes, add it, yes, add it, yes, add it. But like all that stuff is like so often wrong. Like, oh, this is a completely different, whatever. Um, Fred Smith, like there's a million Fred Smiths, then you picked the wrong one and you showed it to me. Um, but where it really becomes problematic is that um, it also lets you just say like, oh, this person in somebody else's family tree is the same person in my family tree. And you can just like click a button and suck in all their information. And all of a sudden, like you've just added like 12 of the wrong people into your tree. And then someone else will come along and they'll see like, oh, wow, all these people are linked together in these two trees over here. Let me pull them in. So all of a
Oh,
sudden, like you have a
jeez.
dozen copies of the wrong information. And like, I'm stuck in a point where like I think I've pulled in all the correct information that they've told me about, but it's still like insisting like, oh, these people are your great 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 grandparents and you should add them. I'm like, no, like
Hmm.
they clearly um were still in Germany where it says over here that you're telling me they were in, whatever, Missouri. Like there's just like so many facts that clearly show these are not the same two people that you're trying to tell me they are. But it just insists on it, and then like eventually by accident, I'll probably like add them or something. You know what I mean? And yeah, you just see so much incorrect information out there and copied so many times because of that.
Do you have to pay for this?
Typically, yes, but um, if you have a library that participates, you can actually get free access to their tools through your library. And like there's a weird glitch, don't tell them, but I took my laptop to the library one time and connected the Wi-Fi and started browsing on their website, and it like logged me in as the library. And now I've been using that for months at home, just
Oh,
like logged into that same session for free.
wow.
That's
Nice.
why I love my public library.
Yes, call back. Um, so so you're saying like, when you have those false leads, you can't get rid of them?
It doesn't seem like it. Like,
Oh,
in certain areas you can, like you can say, nope, ignore this. This is not it. But in other places, they just seem to never go away.
hmm. Yeah, I've never even tried this. I'm not even sure how far back that would go for the Native Americans, really. I think my mom said that it doesn't really work for us too much. But Dave, have you ever tried this site?
Um, yeah, I'm on there, and it has like my parents and my grandparents on there. Um, I was looking at it. I signed into the app today, kind of, uh, and I did see like my grandma's on there, and I clicked on it, and it said like there was 8 different documents, and like one of them was like a 1940 census from like Cook County in Chicago, and there was like my grandma, her sister, and then her parents, and um, it was interesting, like um but nobody, and I know on like, and that was like on my dad's side of the family. On my mom's side of the family, I know my uncle, there's nothing on ancestry.com, but my uncle has like an entire like family album that's dedicated to like the family tree and like all the research he did like in the 90s. He did a bunch of research, but none of that's posted online. And I just have like, I don't know, it's like privacy concerns, but like I don't really know who I'm protecting. It's just like they don't need to know that, and I feel like I'm putting it out there for too many people. But at the same time, I do look at it kind of like trying to be forward thinking, like I would like that to be online because like if I have kids one day or grandkids and they were able to look it up, it would be super interesting for them. Like I shouldn't just take like a selfish like right now view like, oh, that's kind of an invasion of my privacy. It's like all my ancestors are dead already. It's not like you're gonna steal their identity and do anything with it. So like why not like something for like 100 years in the future, like my ancestors or my I'll be the ancestor to the future generations and they'll be able to see all that stuff online. It'd be really cool for them. So I do kind of want to put more stuff on there. Um, but it was kind of disturbing when I was looking at my grandma and they had like her death stone on like where she was buried was on there and like the cemetery marker on there. Um, I don't know, like that made me super emotional, and I was just like, because I'm like I hadn't seen that since like her funeral, and I don't know, like it was very real because like if you go back like certain generations, it doesn't mean anything to me because it's just names of people. But when it's just like my grandparents and like I remember them and like memories I had with them, it was like it made me super emotional and I didn't like it. And it was, I don't know, I just wasn't prepared for it because like I was kind of at work and I had some downtime and I was like, oh, I was playing on my phone and I went to Ancestry. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at my grandma and then I'm like, oh, a census. And then I'm like, oh, her gravestone. And then I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh, it was just like too much.
What do you
Yeah, I know.
think? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know what you mean. Like, I so I've been doing what your uncle did. Like, basically, like my entire family tree that I'm working on, like I'm using just software on my computer that's like not online. And then like I did a write-up of, like my family name as far back as I could go and did like, I don't know, like a 25-page write-up of like all of my great great grandpa and all of his children and like kind of stopped at the grandchildren of them so as to like not get too recent. And then I'm doing this for another set of great great grandparents, but like everyone's younger. So now all of a sudden, like as I'm getting to the younger kids and the younger grandkids, I'm like, oh, these are like people who are still alive today. And like it just feels so different doing a write-up about this person. Like, and they're still alive and living in the Eau Claire area or whatever. Like I don't know, like it weirds me out to the point like maybe I'll wait another 20 years before I write this one up.
Well, I was thinking, like, what could be done? How could this website be used for evil? You know what I mean? Like, what could someone do? Like, they're like, oh, say I want to look up the Lauer legacy. What could I even do? Like, I don't know.
We could pull There Will Be Blood and
Oh
pretend to be his
shit.
long lost brother, and we'd have all the info.
I have a competition in me. Brother. That's true, yeah. I guess so. Yeah, because they could, yeah, posing as like, Dave, I'm part of your family. Just believe it. Don't, look past that. But I could be like, hey, I know where they buried grandma because of so I guess that could be used for bad stuff.
Yeah. I was thinking of like Game of Thrones when like Ned Stark in season one, he's paging through like the history of King's Landing and he's like, Robert Baratheon, brown of hair. And then his father, brown of hair. His father, brown of hair. And then it was like Joffrey Baratheon, blonde of hair. Like, interesting. It's almost like he's not from the same father.
Oh shit. God. Uh, segue challenge. I ask so nervously.
We should branch off to a new topic.
Branch.
Yeah.
I like it. No, if only there was someone to go last.
Is
to
that me?
It could be.
I have an indifference, something I'm indifferent to, and that's home decor. Um, and by home decor, to me, it's kind of like the stuff you hang on your walls, kind of like the knickknacks you put up on shelves, or maybe like the throw pillows on your couch. Like, I mean, this is kind of similar to like my feelings on fashion, where I'm just like, doesn't really mean much to me. And like, that's how I am with like home decor. Like, I don't care if there's anything on my walls at all. Like, I do recognize that it's kind of boring, and it seems like I might be like Jeffrey Dahmer or something, like some serial killer with just nothing on my walls. But like, it doesn't matter to me, and I don't really care. And it wasn't always that way, because like when I was 19 or 20, like all I wanted to do was pick out posters of my favorite bands, my favorite movies, put them all over my walls, and I would just put posters everywhere. And I don't like, that's just what like kids did, and like in every movie you watched and TV show, everybody always put stuff all over their walls or their bedroom, and it was super cool. And like, I feel like I really couldn't do that much when I was in high school because I didn't really have the money to do it. But once I had like a decent paying job, like I just started to buy posters all the time. I get like Reservoir Dogs, or like,
Classic.
yeah, the Beatles, Pulp Fiction, like I don't
Pink
know,
Floyd,
just
Dark Side of the Moon.
yeah, everybody had that one. Yeah, and now like as an adult, it's just like I can walk around Hobby Lobby, which just has home decor in the entire store, like different, like there's pictures of cows with like emo haircuts, and I'm just like, why in the hell would I ever hang that up in my house? Like it's a cow with a weird haircut. Like it's just so stupid to me. And then all the signs that say like live, laugh, love. Like I don't care. Like that's I think that's stupid and it's tacky. Um like I do appreciate art, but most of the stuff at Hobby Lobby I don't consider art. Like
Fair
if I
enough.
had yeah, like if I had like classic like Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci like paintings and those were on my walls, I think that'd be really cool. But like obviously I can't afford that stuff. But I'm sure I could get like nowadays with printers and stuff, I'm sure I could get some knockoffs for cheap. Maybe I should do something like that. But yeah, I just don't really care enough to try.
If you were to get like, Da Vinci and shit like that, I'd show up and throw soup on it to make you aware of global warming. Isn't that what keeps going on? People are throwing shit on paintings for like the earth. Love
Well,
it. Shit like
what
that.
do the paintings do? I don't even understand.
Yeah, poor paintings. I thought they were all behind. Well, I guess it's just velvet ropes, huh? You can't really. Why isn't there like glass on them? You know?
As we thought we could be trusted. We thought we could have nice things.
Although, to be fair, if I could trade a Da Vinci for the world,
Tough call.
wipe that smile off your face, Mona Lisa. Oh, okay. So home decor, you know what? I'm gonna say the same thing. I have the Beatles headshots on my wall taped because that showed up on my the White Album vinyl that I bought. So that's kind of cool. And then I have Beavis and Butthead, but they're printed out for my printer just for something to look at because yeah, I don't really decorate. I I think I'm assuming it's more of a girl thing. Like my mom, like growing up, a lot of it was my mom's stuff, and I feel like that's like Dave. Do you have a man cave? Are you in it right now, where like everything else outside of that is Brooks?
No, like this room that I'm in is actually more Brooks. stuff because like I
It's
have
her man
these.
cave, huh?
Yeah, it's her girl cave, her bat girl cave or something. But we got like three pictures on the wall, and it's from some book series that I'm pretty sure might be smut, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, and then yeah, we got a couple bookshelves with her books, obviously, because I don't really read much. But I don't have a like I have like Packer stuff, like Packer like memorabilia and pennants and like some Packer stuff I could hang up, but almost all of it's just in a box in my garage because I don't even care to hang it up. I'm just like, like what am I gonna do? Like hang it up all in one room? I could like maybe I'll hang it up in the garage. Like I could have like a sports themed stuff in the garage, but I don't care about. I just don't care. It's just gonna sit in that box until I die, probably.
John, do you have a man cave?
Um, Not really. I mean, I'm in the office that I work in now, but like all the rooms are kind of a mixture of our stuff. Like I collect like a lot of video games, um, and we'll have those kind of like on display throughout the house. And, same with like records and stuff. So it's not really confined to a single room. Um, and then also like we have if we're like on a trip or something and we take a cool photo, we'll either just print it out on photo paper and put it in a frame, or if it's something really cool, we'll like you can send it to a website and they'll print it out on like a canvas thing that you can hang on the wall, which is also pretty cool. Um,
Are you smiling in those pictures? And
oh, we're
were
not in the
those real?
photos.
Oh, okay.
Just
No, these
landscape.
are, yeah, exactly. These are like cool buildings or cool landscapes or something. Yeah, my wife and I are in very few photos that we have on display, or that we take at all, I should say, and none that are on display.
I want that picture of like the farmer and the wife with the pitchfork, and then we just Photoshop you and your wife's face on there. Be like, if you guys did pose for a picture,
American
American
Gothic.
Gothic. Jinx.
Uh, um, okay, so I do want to start collecting stuff. Well, I'm coming from a very shitty thing where I'm like, girls like home decorations. Like if a girl were to walk in here and she's like, "Oh my God, your walls are completely, blank," maybe she wouldn't like that, you know?
Are we playing the match game? Your walls are completely blank.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if I were to put movie posters up, I don't know if I'm even old enough to do that anymore. You know what I mean?
Like
I don't know.
you're too old to do it.
Yeah, I feel like that was acceptable, perfectly understandable in my 20s, but I don't know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think you could still get away with like vinyl record covers in a frame though, they would have to be now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You you could have like a collection of stuff you like, but now it has to be like, in a nice case. Can't just be out on a shelf or something, like there has to be more intent behind your stuff now, I think.
No more glowing stars that you put on your ceiling.
I mean,
I used to love
she
that.
won't know that until it's too late.
Yeah, it's still far too late. Yeah, I don't know. Is that it? What, that's the end of the
yeah,
show.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Um, like, subscribe, comment, go to a few goldilockbears.com and tell your friends and your foes. I was
And
Vincent Cloud.
tell those that you're indifferent to as well. I was John Nemes.
And I'm David Lauer.